Hello everyone who is watching the Healthcare 123 channel. I am very happy to meet you in today's video, a topic that I think will be very useful, especially for those who are entering their twilight years. Dear friends, as we age, our bodies are no longer the same and our health is easily affected by many different factors. Stroke is one of the dangerous and silent diseases that many elderly people are facing. But fortunately, stroke is completely preventable if we recognize the warning signs early. So the question is, how do we know when our body is warning us of an impending stroke? In fact, there are 5 places on the body where pain or unusual symptoms can be a sign of a stroke. These signs are easy to ignore because they look like the usual pains that you often experience in your daily life. However, pain in these areas cannot be ignored. When they appear, it is the time when the body is sending us urgent warnings. In today's video, I will share with you 5 special locations. If they cause pain or show unusual signs, it could be a sign of an impending disaster. This is extremely important knowledge that you need to remember to protect your health and prevent unexpected risks. I know that no one wants to think about unpleasant things, but knowing early will help you be more proactive in taking care of your health. If you find this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to the Golden Health channel so that every time I have a new video, you will be notified immediately and not miss out on useful knowledge. Now, let's learn about the warning signs of an impending stroke in the body. Part 1. Severe headache. Signs of an impending stroke. Dear sisters, I think we have all had headaches. They may be just mild pains due to stress, lack of sleep, or changes in the weather, but there is a type of headache that you should not ignore, which is a severe, sudden headache. And especially if this headache is not like a normal headache, it can be a sign of an impending stroke. So what is a severe and sudden headache? You can imagine that headaches caused by strokes will often appear suddenly, violently, and uncontrollably. The pain may only last a few minutes, but the level of pain is extremely severe, making it impossible for you to do anything. This pain is often concentrated on one side of the head, accompanied by nausea or dizziness. In particular, sudden headaches may appear after you feel dizzy, blurred vision, or shortness of breath. Then these are dangerous symptoms that need to be treated immediately. Why is headache a sign of stroke? I will explain a little so you understand clearly. Headaches caused by strokes often occur when a blood vessel in the brain bursts or is blocked, causing a part of the brain to not receive enough blood. At that time, the brain will lack oxygen and the body's response is a severe headache. This is a headache caused by cerebral ischemia. This is a warning sign of an impending stroke. For the elderly, the blood vessels may have hardened, causing blood vessel blockage, and headaches are one of the early signs. I want you to pay attention. If you have a sudden headache that is different from a normal headache, especially accompanied by nausea, eye-opening, or difficulty speaking, do not hesitate to go to the hospital immediately for a health check. Doctors will perform the necessary tests to determine if it is a stroke. And if it is, timely intervention will help reduce the risk of brain damage, helping to protect your long-term health. My advice: do not ignore a severe headache, especially if it comes on suddenly and is different from a normal headache. If you have a history of high blood pressure or heart disease, this headache is even more worrisome, because it could be a sign of an impending stroke. I want to emphasize that regular health checkups and regular blood pressure measurements are the best ways to protect yourself from stroke. The earlier you detect it, the more likely you are to reduce your risk. Next, we will learn about another very important sign, which is chest pain or arm pain. These pains can be a sign of an impending stroke. See the next section to learn more. Part 2. Chest pain or arm pain. Signs of impending death. Dear uncles and aunts, in addition to sudden headaches, one of the important symptoms of stroke that you need to pay attention to is chest pain or arm pain. Especially when this pain comes unexpectedly, lasts long, and is uncomfortable. These pains may not only be related to a heart attack but also be a warning sign of a stroke. Chest and arm pain a warning sign of a stroke. Chest pain can be a warning sign of heart disease, but in some cases, chest pain can also be a symptom of a stroke. When a blood vessel in the brain is clogged, it can cause a lack of blood to the brain and make the heart work harder to pump blood to the brain. At that time, you may feel pain in the chest, or the pain may spread down the arm. In particular, pain in the left arm is a dangerous sign that you should not ignore. If you feel a sharp pain in your chest, then the pain gradually spreads down your left arm, accompanied by numbness, tingling, or weakness in your arm. It could be a sign of an approaching stroke. Why is chest and arm pain a sign of a stroke? When the brain is deficient in blood or has a blood vessel blocked, blood cannot reach the limbs, normally causing symptoms of numbness and pain in the arm, especially the left arm. This pain may be accompanied by a feeling like needles are pricking the body. The longer this pain lasts, the higher the risk of stroke. My advice: if you feel unusual chest pain or the pain spreads to the arm, especially the left arm, without a clear reason, go to the hospital immediately for a checkup. Especially when the pain is accompanied by loss of sensation, shortness of breath, or dizziness, you should not be subjective but must act quickly, because a stroke can occur at any time. Remember that a stroke can occur suddenly, but if you recognize the early signs and act promptly, we will have a chance to save lives and minimize brain damage. The earlier it is detected, the higher the chance of recovery from a stroke. Next, I will share with you another very important sign: back pain or neck pain. In particular, if these pains occur suddenly and without a clear reason, they can be a sign of a stroke. Remember to watch the next part to better understand this symptom. Part 3: back pain or neck pain, signs of an impending stroke. Dear aunts, next, another sign that you need to pay attention to is back pain or neck pain. This is a symptom that is quite easy to ignore because many people often think that they are just having muscle strain, fatigue, or pain due to changes in the weather. But in fact, neck pain and back pain can be signs of a stroke, especially when the pain lasts or feels more uncomfortable than usual. Why can neck pain and back pain be a sign of a stroke? When blood is not circulating adequately to the brain, or when the blood vessels in the neck are blocked, you will feel neck pain and back pain. This happens because the arteries in the neck are important blood vessels that help blood flow from the heart to the brain. If these vessels are blocked or narrowed, the pain may appear in the neck or back area. In particular, if neck pain is accompanied by symptoms such as dizziness, loss of balance, difficulty breathing, or nausea, T1 on the face or arm, this is a warning sign of an approaching stroke. You need to remember that neck and back pain are not just symptoms of musculoskeletal problems, but if accompanied by other symptoms such as facial paralysis, difficulty speaking, or difficulty moving the limbs, it is time to see a doctor immediately. My advice is not to ignore any neck or back pain. If you feel sudden, prolonged pain and accompanied by other symptoms, such as dizziness, nausea, numbness, early treatment and timely detection will help reduce the risk of stroke and brain damage. Next, I will share with you a little known but extremely important sign: jaw or tooth pain. When you feel pain in your jaw or teeth, don't ignore it because it could be a sign of an impending stroke. Don't miss the next part. Part 4: jaw or tooth pain, signs of an impending stroke. Dear aunts, a sign that few people pay attention to but is extremely important is jaw or tooth pain. When you feel pain in your jaw on one side, accompanied by symptoms such as facial numbness, difficulty speaking, it could be a sign of a stroke. Why is jaw pain a sign of a stroke? Pain in the jaw on one side could be a sign of a blood clot in the brain. When blood cannot circulate adequately, especially in the face and head, you will feel pain in the jaw or teeth, especially on one side. This often happens when blood vessels in the brain or neck are blocked, causing numbness or pain. Advice from my nephew: don't ignore any jaw pain that is accompanied by numbness, difficulty speaking, or weakness of the limbs. These signs can be a warning of an impending stroke. Go to the doctor immediately if the pain persists. Don't let this condition affect your health. Next, we will go to the last part of the video where I will share about another sign of a stroke, leg pain or numbness. Please stay tuned. Part 5: Leg pain or numbness. Signs of impending stroke. Dear uncles and aunts, the next sign that I want to share with you is leg pain or numbness. And this is also one of the symptoms that can signal an impending stroke. Surely, you have experienced the feeling of numb legs or pain after a long time of sitting still or standing. But if this pain comes suddenly and without a clear reason, it is a sign that needs to be warned. Why is leg numbness a sign of a stroke? When blood cannot flow to parts of the body, especially the lower extremities such as the legs, you will feel numbness, weakness, or pain. A stroke can occur when blood vessels in the brain become blocked, cutting off blood supply to other parts of the body, including the legs. I want to emphasize that numbness in the legs can be a sign of a stroke, especially if the numbness or pain persists and is accompanied by symptoms of weakness in the arms, face, or difficulty speaking. If you feel a sudden numbness in your legs that you cannot explain, or if the numbness is accompanied by other signs such as dizziness, blurred vision, or shortness of breath, you should seek medical attention immediately. This numbness may be accompanied by other signs: loss of feeling in your legs or arms, difficulty moving or standing, muscle weakness, or a feeling of losing control of your limbs. Advice from me: if you feel numbness or pain in your legs without a clear cause, accompanied by symptoms such as weakness in the arms, loss of sensation in the face, difficulty speaking, then go to the hospital immediately for a checkup. The earlier detection, the higher the chance of saving your life and minimizing brain damage. Don't wait for these numbness attacks to disappear without careful examination. I want you to remember that numbness or leg pain is not always harmless. Sometimes it is a sign of an impending stroke. Always pay attention to your body and act immediately when there are unusual signs. Dear aunts and uncles, we have learned together 5 important signs that when you have pain in these areas, you absolutely must not ignore them because they can be signs of an impending stroke. I would like to summarize those signs so that you can easily remember. Severe headache. If the headache is sudden and strong, with nausea, dizziness, it is a warning sign of a stroke. Chest or arm pain, especially chest pain, left arm, that lasts with a feeling of numbness in the arm. Back or neck pain, sudden neck or back pain, with dizziness, numbness of the pulse, difficulty breathing can be a sign of a stroke. Jaw or tooth pain, pain on one side of the jaw or tooth with facial paralysis, difficulty speaking. Leg pain or numbness if the leg suddenly becomes numb, with stiffness, weakness, and inability to move, it is a sign of an impending stroke. I hope that you will listen to your body and not ignore these warning signs. Early detection of a stroke will help minimize brain damage and can save lives. These signs are easily overlooked, but if we act promptly, the results can change significantly. Don't delay, go to the hospital immediately when there are unusual signs so that the doctors can intervene promptly. The final advice from me: regular health checks to detect early problems. With blood pressure, heart, and brain, eat scientifically, exercise regularly, control stress, and avoid bad habits are great ways to protect health, avoid strokes, and pay more attention to each other's health with the family, especially the elderly in the family. If you find this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to the Healthcare 123 channel. Share this video with friends and relatives so that everyone is aware of the signs of evil spirits and can save themselves. Remember, health is the most valuable asset. Thank you for watching. I wish you good health, happiness, and a fulfilling life with your family.